Okay, so Dangerous Breed. This is a documentary that you can watch on Peacock. Peacock, ironically, has some pretty good documentaries. The Barney one also is really good too. And this is about Teddy Hart. Probably one of the most, I would say, physically gifted independent wrestlers who has a lot of other issues. This one deals with, so it's a person who wanted to try to do a reality show with him back in like 2000, like early 2010s. So he was like, this guy's an indie wrestler. He lives this crazy lifestyle. He raises Persian show cats. And from what I knew of Teddy Hart before this, I knew, I've seen him, I think it was Wrestling Society X and a few other things, some stuff in Mexico. Ridiculously physically talented wrestler. Ran his mouth a lot. I knew about him spending his time as a cup of coffee in the WWE when he was 18. And then, so youngest person signed, youngest person fired at the time. And then he had multiple run-ins with the law. So this is the guy who was filming the documentaries and stuff. And I really feel for this guy. Because Teddy Hart seems like someone where he does a lot of things and he hurts a lot of people, whether intentional or not. I don't want to get hit by YouTube. And then you watch this documentary and, who's reliving this stuff, kind of going, yeah, and then I was there, for the trial where it was, assault and entrapment and, all this sort of stuff and confinement and all these things. And then I go back and I watch this video and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, this was significantly worse. And then he gets it's a phone call. And one of Teddy Hart's ex-girlfriends has been missing for years. And everyone's like, but you have footage of them together. He goes, yeah, I have some footage. So it's 3 episodes. One of them deals with, the very early ons of things, and we first started doing the reality show that didn't go anywhere. And then some of the major court dates for Teddy Hart then. The second one goes into some of Teddy's, upbringing. And, he had a very tragic life event happen, in his formative years. And the third episode pretty much deals entirely with Samantha Fiddler, trying to piece all of that together. And people trying to get closure for what happened with this missing persons case. And of course, it's Samantha's sister and like her best friend. And they're most that they're absolutely just crushing to watch because you're watching people who have legitimately not seen or heard anything from their sister or one of their best friends in several years. There's also the guy who did a Rolling Stone article who I wish he kept more to the story and quit trying to throw in some of his own narrative into it. Saying, if you watch it, you'll see very often you kind of go, I don't see why he keeps on bringing that up. They do this on the speaking out movement too. And if they ever wanted to do a documentary on that, I mean, you would have to go all the way back to like the Moolah era to really fully encompass everything that has happened to women in the world of professional wrestling. It's a rough shade under 3 hours to get through. And the people I felt the most for, I mean, the guy who did the documentary, going through all of his old tapes, reliving this stuff and kind of going, especially when he does a self-interview in 2015, that when you watch him, he goes, did I have something to do with this? Did I in some way enable the crazy Teddy Hart lifestyle? Was him saying, this reality shows, I got a camera crew and this guy's filming stuff. It's like, did I feed into some of this that happened to some of these people? And Teddy Hart comes off like, he doesn't come off looking very well in the vast majority of it. I mean, I don't want to say he comes off like he has delusions of grandeur. Yeah, I mean, he had the whole world in his hands when it came to how good he was in the ring. He's way too many other demons that he's currently dealing with. But I mean, to say that he has sociopathic tendencies would not be out of the realm of possibility from the way this is done. This is right up there with like watching like a Dark Side of the Ring, just with a lot more depth going into it. I mean, the first episode by itself is meant to be kind of go, yeah, this guy's whacked out. And the second one, you kind of go, oh, that's a little bit of context to why he's like that. And the third one makes you go, yeah, you know what? I feel bad for the things that he has endured in the early part of his life and the self-inflicted wounds he's given to himself. But the collateral damage he has done in his life is probably immeasurable.